So what is observation? Observation is maybe the most important to scientists and to other experts. Dahil sila yung kumakalap at nagbibigay kasagutan sa mga hindi pangkaraniwang nangyayari sa loob at sa labas ng bansa. However, hindi lamang ang scientists and experts ang kayang makapag-observe, kundi tayong lahat. Tayong lahat ay kaya makapag-observe gamit ang ating all senses, like sense of seeing, tasting, hearing, and touching. For example, meron isang pagkain na hindi ka familiar. And then, syempre, ang gagawin mo is i-observe mo muna yun. I-observe mo muna yun gamit ang iyong mga senses. Gamit ang iyong senses. Gawin mo is, pwede mo siyang hawakan, tikman, or magtanong-tanong ng information about sa pagkain na kung saan siya nagagawa. Tsaka mo siya kakainin. At doon na papasok ang teaching and learning through observation kasi while ino-observe mo yun is natututo ka na.
Teacher's role: assess the student achievements and learning goals by using standard tests, quizzes about the experiment itself, and open-ended questions that allows the student to reflect on what they did not get from the experiment. After the experiment, ang teacher ay susubukan kung ano ang natutunan ng isang bata sa experiment kaya ng pagbibigay ng test or quizzes sa kanilang ginawa. At doon malalaman ng isang guro kung may natutunan ba ang mga bata. Golden rule: think of ways on how to apply the learned scientific principles practically in life. Ang mga mag-aaral gagawa ng paraan or way on how they apply what they learned in their classroom discussion about gravity and friction. What is gravity? It's a force that always attracts our pupils' object toward each other without direct contact or impact. Friction: the force occurs when one object rubs against another object.
Good day, everyone. So I will report the Lesson 11 Strategy 3, the Inductive Guided Inquiry. So, what is inductive guided inquiry? Induction is a thought process wherein individual observes selected events, process, or objects, then construct particular pattern of concept relationship based on this limited experience. Inductive inquiry is a teaching method in which the teacher asks the student infer a conclusion, generalization, or pattern of relationship from a set data or facts. So, inductive guided inquiry is isang learning model sa pag-aaral upang mas mapadali ang pag-aaral ng mga students. And then, para magkaroon sila ng comprehensive understanding, and then para ma-develop yung thinking skills nila. And nakakatulong din ito para ma-internalize nila yung mga concept and within that, the students, they can use to solve problems and develop their competency and to improve. So next is how to use guided inductive inquiry as a teaching strategy. So in guided inquiry, this use of picture is usually the easiest way to introduce the concept. For young children, show different pictures of the same scene of the class. Okay, so paano nga ba magagamit or paano gamitin ang guided inductive inquiry as a teaching strategy? So, sabi dito, as a easiest way to introduce the concept is the picture para sa mga young children. So, you can use any kind, basta related siya doon sa concept mo na ipapakita sa class. And then, kapag nakita na nila yung pictures na yun, so, they can observe na, and then you can ask the children na kung ano yung nakikita nila sa pictures, and then pwede nila itong i-describe. And then magkakaroon sila ng state patterns as generalization. Next is time requirements. When you plan to use any type of requirement activity in class, spend at least twice as much class time on each lesson as you normally would. This time is spent on a deep analysis of the content by the student. So, time requirements. Kapag gagamitin mo daw yung any type of inquiry activity, parang twice mo siyang i-analyze or pag-aralan as you normally do. So, in that way, magkakaroon ng mas malawak na interaction between the teacher and students regarding the subject. So, that's all po.
And now, I will discuss the 6 characteristics of Guided Inductive Inquiry Model by Orlich et al. 2007. So, the first one is the learner's progress from a specific observation to inference or generalization. So, dito tinutukoy na yung proseso ng pagkatuto ng isang bata base sa kanilang pag-oobserba. And the second one is the objective is to learn the process of examining events or objects and then arriving at an appropriate generalization from the observation. So, yung main goal or main objectives ng teacher is may matutunan yung students nila galing sa kanila sa lesson na tinuturo nila, which is yung about sa experiments, the events, or something. And the third one is the teacher controls the specific of the lesson and thus acts as the leader. So dito, yung teacher yung magsisilbing class leader sa isang classroom. Siya yung magpo-provide ng instructions. Siya rin yung magko-control sa mga bata or sa mga students niya kung paano nila gagawin yung isang activity or yung isang experiments. And the fourth one is each student act to the specific and attempts to structure a meaningful pattern based on his or her observation and those of others in the class. So dito na papasok yung pagbibigay ng concerns ng mga bata sa lesson na tinuro mo and by their observation. And the fifth one is the classroom is to be considered a learning laboratory. So dito, ang classroom ang magsisilbing learning place ng mga bata na kung saan ay matututo sila by doing some experiments or some activities inside the classroom. And the sixth one is usually a fixed number of generalization will be elicited from the learners. So dito papasok yung mga tanong ng mga bata kung talagang curious sila sa topic or lesson na tinuturo ng isang teachers. So examples ng mga tanong ng mga bata is, paano ba nangyari yun? Ganun ba yun? Ganun yung mga some examples na tinatanong mga bata kung curious talaga sila sa isang lesson. And the last one is the teacher encourage each students to communicate his or her generalization to the class so that others may be benefit from them. So dito papasok yung pagmamotivate ng isang teacher sa isang estudyante niya para i-share yung ideas niya about the lesson na diniscuss ng teacher. And then, para ma-benefits din or magkaroon ng kaalaman din yung kapwa niya estudyante base sa ideas na shinare niya. Let's proceed to the general model of inquiry by Orlich et al. 2007. So, the first one is about the identifying a problem. So, sa paggawa ng research, dapat alamin mo muna kung ano yung magiging problema mo sa paggawa nito para mabigyan mo agad ng solusyon or maisipan mo agad ng solusyon. And the second one is about the preparing a statement of research objects. So, dapat naka-prepare na or organize na yung statements about sa object na gagawan mo ng research. And the third one is the collecting the data. So, dapat dito is magko-collect ka ng mga data para ma-prove mo na tama yung gagawin mong research or tama yung magiging resulta nito. And the fourth one is the interpreting the data. So dito mo na i-interpret yung mga data na kinalap mo para ma-explain mo sa kanila na tama yung way ng paggawa mo. So the fifth one is about the developing tentative conclusion. So dito, i-develop mo na yung mga conclusions na sasabihin mo bago mo i-end yung ginawa mong research. And the last one is about the replication. So dito mo i-reflect kung tama ba yung way na ginawa mo or yung process ng paggawa mo ng research. And the next one is about the rule of questioning with guided inductive inquiry. It has been observed that the teachers plays an important role in inquiry method because the purpose of inquiry is to pursue investigation. The teacher does become a question asked, not the one who answering the questions. Here are some question stem in dynamic subject. The first one is about what is happening. The second one is what was happened. The third one, what do you think will happen now? The fourth one, how did this happen? And the fifth one or the last one is about what caused this happen. And here are some question stems in static or static subject. The first one is what kind of object it is. The second one, what is it called? The third one, where it is found. The fourth one, what does it look like? And the last one is, have you ever seen anything like it? Where or when?
Jana Lynn May and Eritao reporter.
The number 3, the research help the learners to progress from what they already understand, what they need to understand. So it is to encourage them to be metacognitive or knowing about knowing. So next is research can challenge, engage, and extend all the learners, not just more capable learners. So during research is not just for capable learners. It is for everybody. You are capable with doing research for that challenges and encourage us into different social issues. So next is research encourage critical thinking and reflection. Research can provide a meaningful context for the learners to use and develop their communication skills. Research can help the learners develop their organization and time management skills. Research can be fun and motivating way to learn, particularly to the gifted learners. Research can give the learner experience working in the way of professionals work. Research can help the learners understand the essential nature of a field. Research that requires the students to think different in deeper ways. Research can teach the learners on how to make use of the sources of information that available in their local community. Research can effective way of getting the parents involved in their child education. Next, research provide the teachers with an opportunity to stand back and observe the learners analyze the way in which they interact the one and another and to reflect on their learning style. And last, research project provide an ideal opportunity for you to help the learners develop their computing skills and their familiarity with modern technologies such as the internet. So, so you use student research if the first the outcomes you want to student to achieve are readily related to issues beyond the classroom. Second, the learners have sufficiently high prior knowledge to guide their own learner. Third, the students are self-motivated and can learn with minimal assistance. Fourth, you want to encourage the student to take a deep approach to learning. You want the student to learn how to enjoy learning. You want to encourage the student to be independent learners. You want learners to be driven by the student curiosity. And do not use student research if, first, the student lack the basic skills to work independently or in a small group. The student have very poor literacy. The students do not have access to the equipment or information they need to produce worthwhile data from their research. So you cannot allow the students sufficient time to complete the research task. And how to use research as a teaching strategy. So, paano ba natin nagagamit yung research as a teaching strategy? So, you have to plan carefully for each of these things. You might proceed as the follows. So, first, decide exactly what you want to the students learn. You know, you should have clear in learning outcomes. Develop a suitable research question or set of questions that will be the focus of the students' research activities and that will help them achieve the desired learning outcomes. So, identify what prior knowledge and skills the students will need in order to conduct their research. If necessary, teach prior knowledge may involve teaching for research or developing the students' understand of the subject, teaching about research or developing the students' understanding of how to do research. So identify a number of strategies that the students might use if they are to be successful in the research and be prepared to recognize and encourage the students who use these approaches. So plan the lesson in which you will introduce the students to the research existence. You need to explain what you want the students to learn and what you expect from them during their research. So plan how will plan, plan how you will access that the students learn from the research. Plan how you will evaluate the research activity. So good day everyone. My name is Angeline Latorre and today I will discuss about the topic strategy 5, the using research as a teaching strategy. So, bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating formal discussion, let us define first what is research. So, research, old French word recherche, meaning to investigate truly. Research as seeking through methodological process to add to one's own body of knowledge and hopefully to that of others by the discovery of trivial facts and insight. So I'm a firmly believe that we are researcher in our own way. We human in innate curious about something. We always ask why and how to tend figure out for the specific answer to only satisfy our curiosity. So, the definitions convey the idea that research has two important components. So, first one is inquiry that is carried out systematically and purposely. So meaning to say that there are process of step-by-step procedure to be followed and most important, you know your purpose, why you need to do your research. So, second one is inquiry that focuses on revealing some new knowledge. So basically, we learn new knowledge through the data that was gathered and analyzed. And now we are four important steps in any research. First is clear purpose. Second is detailed plan. Third is data must be gathered and analyzed. Fourth is conclusion must be reached. So when we say clear purpose, know your purpose well. Ask yourself having research benefit other people. In this relevant in the current times. So second one is dated plan. So when we say dated plan, so they must be dated plan trying to answer the question that which will be systematic. So the third, data must be gathered and analyzed. So data must data must be gathered and analyzed being attempt to answer the question so that new knowledge can be revealed. So the fourth, the lastly, conclusion must be reached. So in this either to answer the original question. So explain why we could not find the answer. So to use research as a teaching strategy, you have to help the students understand through each of those stages so you can learn how to investigate, experiment, and relate information. So here are the three approaches of research. So the first is research based on findings, interpreting and using information that has been produced by someone else. So the best example dito is research about historical accounts and compare them. Research that use existing information or what we call secondary resources, even though information must be reinterpreted, provide a new perspective. So number two is research based on gathering, interpreting, and using information that did not exist before the research conduct. So and number three, research based in some form of experimentation. So it is a open catch through experimental uses the scientific method to establish the group or variables that makes us the study. So when when and why should research be used as a teaching strategy? So here are some of disadvantage of using research as a teaching strategy. So first is uh, research encourage the learners to ask questions, to investigate, to discover, and to create answer for themselves. So it helped learning to be more independent, who believe that they capable of understanding complex issue and discovering new knowledge by themselves. And second, research can enable the learners to develop a deeper level of understanding. So it encouraged them to strive for more than superficial learning. So next, the number three,